Welcome to Tales from the Fandom, a podcast that brings a special guest out of the multiverse and straight to you. And now your host, David Ginsburg.
Hey everybody, welcome to a special Tales from the Fandom episode. It's an Ask Me Anything episode. This is the third one that I'm getting to do, and I really enjoy getting to answer people's different questions. The first question that I had came from Johnny. He is one of the co-hosts of the Happy Hour with Johnny and Deuce podcast, and he asked, what are your top 5 favorite TV shows of all time in no order? And that's a really tough one for me to answer, but I came up with Boy Meets World, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Avatar The Last Airbender, Firefly, and Star Trek Deep Space Nine. Although that one could go, to Next Generation or Babylon 5, just depending on the given day. Anthony Von de Sauer, who is the host of the Curse of Silver Lake podcast, asked, what's your favorite race and character class to play in role-playing games? And I have to go with, I definitely love playing halflings, and I prefer martial characters, so rangers, fighters, or barbarians are my go-to. I'm not much for the ones that are like sorcerer or warlock or wizard. I do delve into like cleric or ranger or cleric or rogue from time to time, but I'm definitely more of a martial character. Jaquel Overstreet asks, name your 5 top OTPs. And this one was really hard, and I had to kind of use the internet to help me out. But I love Tara and Willow from Buffy, Corey and Topanga from Boy Meets World, Keita and Milo from Atlantis The Lost Empire, Frank and Hazel from the Percy Jackson series, Queenie and Jacob from Fantastic Beasts. And then there's a special mention for Santana and Brittany from Glee, because I love those two. Joseph Harrison asked, are you excited for all the movie trailers that were released at San Diego Comic-Con, and specifically about Infinity War? And I'm really excited. I was super pumped to see the new Thor Ragnarok trailer. And unfortunately, I didn't get to see the leaked Infinity War trailer, but I've heard good things. And I'm just really looking forward to seeing that when it actually comes out online. Dwayne Moorhead asked, what is your favorite movie? That's a tough question since I worked at Blockbuster for a lot of years and I got to see a lot of different movies. Of course, Lord of the Rings and Star Wars are up there, but specific movies tend to be either My Big Fat Greek Wedding or Love Actually. Previous guest, Lex Chase, asked for my reaction to the Ready Player One trailer, and I've not read the book. She asked if that was something I had read, and I've not read it yet, although it's on my list of things to read. The trailer looked great, loved the music, and I'm really interested to know more about it, especially with all the different pop culture references in there. Light cycles from Tron, Iron Giant, the DeLorean from Back to the Future. I'm really pumped to find out more about what the movie actually is about. She also asked, what was my first reaction when I discovered role-playing games? How old was I, and what was it? I actually fell in love with them when I was reading the books first. My mom had one of those small kiosks in the mall in Panama City, and we used to have to go in to just sit around at the mall almost all day, just doing whatever we could get ourselves into. And one of the things that I used to do was go to B. Dalton and sit in the fantasy and sci-fi section and just read. And my first books were the 2nd edition D&D, The Complete Guide to Halflings, Complete Guide to Elves, Complete Guide to Dwarves books. And those are the first books that I actually purchased, along with the West End game D6 Star Wars books that I picked up. And I actually didn't even start role-playing until my junior year at college at the University of West Florida, when I played 2nd edition D&D and then transitioned into 3rd edition. And from there, it was just all down that role-playing rabbit hole. Christopher DeVos, who's the host of the Over the Line show podcast, asked, which Zelda game was the best? And unfortunately, that's not a question I can answer. I'm not a big fan of the Zelda games. I originally played it way back on the Nintendo Entertainment System. I played the first one and did not like it. And I never played them again. I've played a little bit of Twilight Princess, and I've played a little bit of the latest one, Breath of the Wild, but I've never played them enough to where I can get a good grasp. I'm not a good action RPGer, and it's tough, but I'd like to try Breath of the Wild maybe one day for the Switch. We shall see. Justin Zenger, who is the co-host of the Zing This podcast, asked, what would be your starter Pokemon for Generation 1? Absolutely Squirtle, especially if he has the attitude of the Squirtles from the Squirtle Squad. I really dig Squirtle. I like Charmander, but I'm not a fan of Charmeleon or Charizard. I like Bulbasaur, but I'm not a fan of Ivysaur and Venusaur. So I definitely like Squirtle. I like Wartortle. I'm not too much a fan of Blastoise, but, I'll take or leave them. But definitely Squirtle. And the last question is from Stephen Eford, and he asked, have I ever seen a ghost? If yes, explain. If not, do I believe in them? I've never seen them. I do believe in them. And we thought our house in Monroe was possibly haunted, as we heard noises often, and sometimes there'd be unexplained things that happened in the rooms or on the baby monitors, or just things that we would notice or just kind of feel or sense. So, yeah, I definitely believe in them, though. And that's all my questions. So hopefully you enjoyed getting to know a little bit more about me and about different things that I like. And if you have any comments or questions, feel free to email them to me at talesfromthefandom@gmail.com, or, go to the Facebook page at facebook.com/talesfromthefandom. And look forward to the next episodes. The next episode that comes out is with Christian Serrano on Monday, the 31st. And then we roll into August, where I'm part of the 2 Pods a Day campaign, which you can look for on Twitter with hashtag 2podsaday, or you can just Google search 2 Pods a Day and you'll find the website. And the Facebook page is 2 Pods a Day, and it's promoting indie podcasts, 2 podcasts every day for the month of August. And I believe I'm somewhere in the middle of them. So I hope you get to enjoy finding out about new podcasts. And I will talk to you all later. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to Tales from the Fandom. Subscribe to us on iTunes or your podcast app of choice. Follow us on Facebook at www.facebook.com/talesfromthefandom to see photos, links, leave feedback, and check out upcoming guests. If you'd like to be a guest, email David at talesfromthefandom@gmail.com.